Welcome back, guys. What do we do on YouTube? We share knowledge, okay? And YouTube will always be a medium to share knowledge, to share experiences with others. Now, what are we going to do in this episode? That is the fifth episode. We are going to create a WordPress website. We are actually going to design the UI of the homepage and also the other pages for Throttle Adda website. So Throttle Adda has been there since 2013. Actually, I think before then that, even before 2013. But it was very small, and we were all friends who were, building Throttle Adda as a team. And during this journey, we have lost touch. We have touched base again. Then we again lost touch. But now we are full-fledgedly starting Throttle Adda, creating videos, giving reviews on MotoGP. We are soon going to go for rides. We are going to record our rides and share our experiences, share the knowledge that we have. We have some beautiful people in our group, who can share different kind of knowledge with you. Coming back to the fifth episode, that is the UI designing of Throttle Adda website using the WP Bakery plugin. It's super simple. You just have to put efforts to concentrate on what I'm saying, to remember on what I say. Even if you don't remember, you can just rewind and see what I was showing. But learn, guys. Okay, learn what I'm teaching here. It is very helpful. You will also save some money. That is one part, but gaining knowledge is more important these days. So let's go ahead and start creating the home page of Throttle Adda and the first section of Throttle Adda, and we are going to create more and more series, more and more videos on different sections of the home page and all the other pages. Okay, let's get started soon. This is the theme that we have installed. This is the demo that we have imported. Okay, we have the home page ready. We have a lot of other pages also ready. Let's go through it quickly. About. So we have some animations here already. We have some content. We are going to replace all this. Let's go to classes. Let's see. If you see the animation, the font, the layout is consistent throughout the pages in this demo. You have this nice section over here where we Throttle Adda team can post where they are going, what trips have they planned, what is in the pipeline, what is in the calendar, so that if anyone wants to join them, they can go ahead and give them a call and join them for the ride. This is a nice form. We will soon configure this as well. Now let's go to current website of Throttle Adda. So this is the current website of Throttle Adda. It's pretty old. The layout is very simple. A lot of content already, reviews on a lot of cars, a lot of bikes, and some trips as well that we have gone to. So what we are looking at Overdrive as a reference website. Now Overdrive also is a content heavy website, so they have structured their website in such a way that they can show more and more data at a single glance. So if I'm in the first section of the website, first fold of the website, I can see so many articles over here. If I go to the second fold of the website, again I can see so many articles. So we have the same target, and we are going to try to create our website with a very similar layout. Okay, this will be our reference website basically. Not all sections we'll try to replicate, but most of the sections. As we know now what we are looking for, what is our target, let's jump to the pages section Okay, we see the home page, the front page over here, right? Now how is the home page tagged as the front page? I'll show you. We'll quickly go to settings, reading, and here in the settings we see your home page displays. So instead of selecting your latest post, that means the post, the blogs that you the articles that you post on your WordPress website, instead of that we are selecting a static page, and we are selecting the home page as the home page which we have seen in the previous page. Okay, let's go back to all pages. Okay, so before editing, because we need a reference of the existing home page, the demo that we have imported, this one, we are not going to directly go ahead and change the same page. We will duplicate that page, but to duplicate that page we need a plugin, so we'll go ahead and install that. Add new plugin. We are searching for the duplicate page plugin. I know what the plugin is, but I want you all to see what all options do we get when we search for a duplicate page plugin. So we have a lot of options. A lot of developers have created and uploaded a lot of plugins to duplicate pages. Right, so we have a lot here. I will go ahead and select the one that I'm looking for. Let's install the duplicate page plugin. Install now. While it's installing from here, there is one more way that we can install the plugin. If you want to download the plugin from the plugin page from the website, you can download the zip file. The way I've showed you all the theme copy paste in the themes folder, we can copy paste the plugin zip file in the plugins folder, again inside WP content plugins folder, and extract the file. And then the next step would be to go to install plugins, and activate the plugin. Once the plugin is activated, we'll go to the pages section, and here we should be able to see duplicate this option. Okay, so it will duplicate this page as a draft. Then we can preview it, publish it, and then take it ahead. Alright, so we have the duplicate page here, which is in draft mode. I will edit this page. First I will rename this page after editing. I will give the name as home demo, and I will publish the page. Great. So now this step is over where we have duplicated the page, and now we'll go ahead and start designing the page that we have decided. The basic rule of designing a page is that a page is always divided into 12 columns. Now if you are not aware of what 12 columns are in a page, let's go to bootstrap.com. Okay, get bootstrap.com. Now Bootstrap is a plugin, okay, which gives you JavaScript and CSS. Now this Bootstrap plugin helps you build your entire layout of the page. Okay, now Bootstrap is a super plugin to design your website, to design your responsive websites, so that this same website will be viewable on all your devices. And that is why the columns are divided into 12 columns. That is why the page is divided into 12 columns. Okay, let's go to the document section. To understand this plugin very well, you will have to read through all the pages, and you will have to go through the starter template, understand how it works. Most of the things here written is for custom websites that you create, like in HTML, the websites that you write your own HTML for. So for that you will need in-depth knowledge of it. But as we are going to use the plugin called WP Bakery, we do not need to go into the deep details of how this Bootstrap plugin works. We just need to understand what 12 columns are. Okay, now let's go to this tab. Take this as an example, a very simple section. Okay, if you see from modern, the sentence that I've highlighted till the right hand side, till the end of right hand side, this is a container. I'll show you. This is inspect element. If I go here, you'll see that this is a container, right? This is a box. So now this box is divided into 6 columns, and now this box is divided into another 6 columns, which makes it 12 columns. Okay, so this section which is highlighted, if you see, this is the entire 12 columns, okay, container. Now inside 12 columns, the 12 column container is called a row. Now inside 12 columns, we divide this entire row into 2 sections. One is made of 6 columns, the left side. Right hand side section is again made of 6 columns. That makes it 12 columns. So it's not necessary that you always keep 6 and 6 columns. You can make one column 11 columns. You can make a box of 4 columns, and then you have 8 columns left, so you can make another box of 8 columns. So that is how the entire concept works. The row is of 12 columns. Inside the 12 column, you can divide it into any number of columns that you want. Getting back to this page, now this is the backend for editing each and every section. You see the title here. I'll show you a quick example. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Let's see where this is. Okay, now you see the title over here, this section. Once we click on edit, you will see the same sentence over here. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. That's a perfect quote, right? So that is why we are doing this today. Alright, so if you want to edit this sentence, if you want to add your own content over here, you can change anything. Click on save changes, click on update, and the same things will be reflected over here. Okay, I haven't made any changes yet, but I was just showing it to you all. The other mode that you can get into is the front end editor. Okay, now basically for advanced development, for people who already know how this works, backend editor is a good editor because you get a lot of options over here and you can control a lot of things. But for people who do not understand this backend structure, you can click on the front end editor, the classic mode and the front end. We don't want to go into the classic mode because it will again start giving you codes on the page which you don't want to see. Then there is no use of the plugin. Let's click on the front end editor. Okay, so this is the front end editor. Now if you see the same thing that you can do in the backend editor in the previous step, You can do it in the front end editor, but the advantage over here for people who like to build UI, seeing the UI, how it is reflecting, you can click, see this is the entire title, you can click on edit, the same option that you can see in the backend editor. You'll again get this window. You can change, let me change something this time, do something tomorrow, do something tomorrow that your future self will thank you for. Let's save this and see how it reflects. I'll click on close. Now you see, do something tomorrow that your future self will reflect, that your future self will thank you for. This is a good mode if you want to see the UI, you want to go through all the, if you hover on these sections, you'll understand that you can edit it, you can do a lot of things over here. Okay, so some parts of the website I will teach you how to do it with the backend editor, so that you have a good knowledge of how to use the backend editor. Some part we will edit with the front end editor, so you have the knowledge of front end editor as well. So we can cover both and put that knowledge for you in this video. Let's start with the backend editor. We will come back to the front end editor after creating few sections with the help of the backend editor. I will close this from the right top corner. Now once we are there in the backend editor, I'm going to show you all, one second, it did not go to the edit page. I'll just click on back. Yeah, so I was saying that once we are in the backend editor, I'm going to show you all the functionality of the elements that we are going to use on the page. Okay, because using the element is always simple enough, but understanding that element and what it is used for will help you use the correct element at the right place that you want to use that element. Okay, so what we are looking at is creating, alright. Okay, so we will start creating sections from the top stories section. Okay, we do not need a search bar right now, maybe we'll add it later, but we'll start creating the section from top stories. So here we see there is a gallery, image gallery. We see there is a scrollable latest news section, and on the right hand side they have kept it for advertisements. So let's go ahead and quickly create these sections. So we are going to see the home demo. Let me open this page. All right. Okay, so to create the section that we saw on Overdrive, we are going to start adding an element. Now, as I told you before, the first element that we should add is a row. A row consists of 12 columns, and the division that needs to be made in those 12 columns are there will be 3 parts in those 12 columns. Probably we'll create a 6 column section, a 2 column section, and how much is it, 8, right? So we have 4 columns more. So let's create a 6 column section, let's create a 3 column section, that makes it 9, and then 3 more, that is for the right hand side. Okay, so how do you start adding a row? We need to create a new element. So if you see the plus icon, click on that. There is a lot of options over here. Don't get confused, and let's select the row option. You must be feeling a little overwhelmed looking at so many options. As a beginner or as a non-developer, you might not know what you should go ahead and click first. So we see row here. You can see the description. Place content elements inside the row, right? As I explained, row is a 12 column section, a container. Inside that we need to place different elements. So let's go ahead and click on row. Okay, now usually in a page when you add new element, it is added at the bottom. So we need to drag this. You see like an X icon over here. It basically indicates that you can drag this in any other section of the page. Okay, so if you're dragging it from the backend editor, that means your front end is also going to get edited. Whatever sections you want to place one below another or one above another, you can do it with this draggable reordering section icon. Okay, so now we have placed this. Now as I told you about the drag icon, the next icon is the columns options. So now we need 3 columns, right? We do not need this is the first option is 1 column, second option is 2 column, that means 6 columns each. The third option is 2 by 3 and 1 by 3, that means I would say that 8 columns and 4 columns. The fourth option is 3 columns. Now 12 divided by 3 is 4 columns each. The next you would see that there are 4 columns, that means 3 columns each in one row. So so on and so forth. So you can check out whatever options you're looking for. We are looking for a 3 column option. Now if you see that this 3 column is divided equally, don't worry, we need a different kind of styling, we need a different kind of layout where we need 6 column, 3 column and 3 column. Okay, so after dividing this row into 3 columns, we will again adjust the size of each column. That can be done. Awesome. You see how simple this is. As soon as you clicked on the third option, dividing a single row into 3 columns, you automatically see that WP Bakery has converted one single column into 3 columns. So as we saw in the first section, we want a slider. So let's go ahead and add a slider over here. This can be a bit experimental. Okay, so don't worry if you're not finding the right element at the very first try. You keep on trying. If you don't like the element that you're adding, you can remove it. You can try some other element as well. Okay, let's search for slider. There are so many options for a slider right now. You would think that which slider should I select? The Slider Revolution 6 is one of the best plugins to create banner sliders or small sliders in different sections of your website. If you want to create a very simple slider where there is no text, where there is not much interaction in the slider, then you can create a simple slider with 2 arrows on the right and the left. But if you are looking for a very interactive slider where you can add some nice text on the image, you can animate that text somehow, you should use the first slider, that is Slider Revolution 6. Maybe this slider will be available when you are installing the theme. It might not be available. You can quickly go ahead and download the Slider Revolutions, whatever the version is available, and then you can start using it. So we will go ahead and add a simple slider now to begin with, and then as we progress in this in the episodes, we will keep on using complex functionality or more functionality or plugins with more features. Okay, so you saw what happened after clicking on the simple slider. I got a new window. Now what this window tells, there is a general setting, there is tiles and hovers, and there is extras. So let's start with the general settings. Now we need to select slider images. Upload files. This section, if you want to upload your own banner, your own images, you can select it from your local computer or any other place. You can even drag and drop any files over here, but the maximum limit is 2 MB for any file. A lot of extensions are supported: JPEG, PNG, WebP, maybe GIF. So you can try that. I will go ahead and, for demo purpose, I will go ahead and select the sliders which are already available in the demo theme. Okay, once I give you a quick demo of how this works, then we will get the actual sliders, because our team is preparing those banner images that needs to be there for Throttle Adda. Once it's ready, we will replace it. When you click on an image, on the right hand side, you see the details of the image. Right, so you see that when it was uploaded, when it was created, what is the size of it, what is the dimension of the image. So this image is of the dimension 1280 into 793 pixels. Okay, let's check the next image. This is a very big image. This is again a big image. Okay, so one more, this is a tip for everyone. WordPress websites can get really slow if you don't optimize the image and upload it. Okay, my suggestion would be to go up to 100 KB for any image, whether it be a small post image, or it can be a slider image, it can be a banner image, or anything. If you maintain this consistency throughout your website with all the images, your WordPress website is going to be like any other small HTML website and it can scale at any level. Plus, it will not slow down your website, and even on phones, on phone network, everyone will be able to load your website very quickly. So let's go ahead and use this image as the first slider image. Okay, I think I have clicked on so many images, and that is why these many images. We will go one by one. First, let's add one image and see what all options are available. Now a lot of options are there depending on what kind of section are you creating. If you're creating a full width banner, a slider, so you can say that resize it to extra large. If you are not confident enough of what kind of size is required for this banner, just use a full and custom option so that the original image will be used as is. Now image fill column space. If you select this, then even if the image is small, okay, for example, if your screen size is 1280, the image is only 800 pixels in width, this slider will automatically stretch your image to the full width of the container, that is 1280. But we don't want this because we have a very small slider section. Loop, yes, keep this always as yes, because if you select multiple images, it will keep on changing the slider images after few seconds, and we want that, right? And autoplay also. This is the speed. You can experiment with the speed a little bit of how fast the image is going to change to the next slide. Pause on hover, yes, we want pause on hover because we want people to take their image on the to take their mouse, hover their mouse on the image and read what is there in the image, or to understand what we are trying to show them. A lot of other options are also there. You can explore this a bit, or if you have any confusion about it, how to use it, you can ask me in the comment section. Titles and captions. So this simple slider also have an option to give a title to the image. Okay, we will not do this right now. We want to see a very simple slider, so we are not going to do it. Extras. So image link mode, what do we mean by that? Now an image in the slider is usually not clickable. Okay, it's just a slider which keeps on rolling to the next image. If you say that you want an image pop up, okay, so when you click on the image, when it is in the slider, it WordPress, this WP Bakery will open a pop-up. The entire background will be grayed out. It will be a little transparent so that you can see the entire website in the background. But yeah, the image will pop out and you will be able to see a larger image. Okay, so we'll enable this option to see how it works. Okay, great. So we have added our first slider. We will go ahead and click on update. After it's updated, we go back to the home page, this same page that we have. We click refresh. Great. So we have added a slider over here, a small slider. You see the two arrows, right and left arrow. Now there are no images, hence it is not rotating. In the next step, we will add more images to this slider and we'll check how it works. Going back to WP admin, we are now going to add more images to the slider to check how the slider looks and how it behaves after adding multiple images. Let's select few more images which would suit our requirement. This suits our requirements as it's a rectangular image. Even this suits our requirement. So I will unselect these, add 2 more images. Perfect. The one step that we forgot to do is resize our column, which I will show it to you in the next step. First, let's see how the slider behaves after adding more images. Now there are 2 things that has happened over here. One, the both arrows started working, the right arrow and the left arrow. We also have dot navigators at the bottom. If you see my mouse cursor, there are dots at the bottom. So there are 2 ways to navigate through the slider. Alright, so quickly let's go to the admin section, backend editor. Now comes the time where we are going to resize the column to 6 column instead of 4 column. So this is the edit button for the column editor. Okay, like you see 3 boxes, right? So there is a edit pencil icon above the box. Click on that. Now we need to adjust the other 2 boxes also after editing this box, which I'll show. Now let's make this 6 column, save it. Now as soon as you made it 6 column, now the calculation is 6 column, 4 column and 4 column. So that is more than 12 columns. So that is why the third box is not fitting in the 12 column area. Okay, so now what we need to do, we need to make the second and the third box, instead of 4 columns, it will now become 3 columns each. So now let's edit the second box. We are changing it to 3 columns. Editing the third box, we are changing it to 3 columns. So now the total sum of columns have become 12 columns, and that is why it is fitting in the 12 column container. Okay, please note this. This is very important. Listen to the video carefully, what I am explaining about the 12 column logic. Okay, it's a part of Bootstrap, it's a part of the layout that we'll be creating throughout the website. Everything is 12 column. Okay, so all the layout, everything that you are going to create, you have to keep this in mind, that you have to utilize the entire 12 column for one element, or you want to divide the 12 column into multiple boxes of different sizes and different column sizes basically. Okay, now let's update this. Go to the website again. Great. So now you see a bigger slider. Okay, Now the problem here is that we do not have consistent image sizes, and that is why some image the dot navigator below is visible properly, and in some image, in the other two images, it's not visible. So this is just a basic demo that we are doing here, just to show you how it works. But for your client website, for your live website that you'll be creating, do create images of the same size, of the same height and width, so that everything works properly. And there is an advantage to it. If you use a very big 4K 5K images, it will fit in to this container also, but the disadvantage is the file size will be more and your WordPress website will be slow. So it doesn't make sense to get such a big resolution image for such a small area. So do precise image work, image optimization, and your WordPress website will be fantastic. We are almost done with the first section, that is the slider. Now the slider style over here is a bit different than what we have, but it's okay. We are right now figuring out how we can achieve a slider with our WordPress setup, right, using WP Bakery. So the next section that we are going to is the latest section, and we are also going to try and replicate this section on our blog, okay, on our website. So let's go ahead and do it. So the second column, that is 3 column size, we are going to click on add. Now this data can be anything basically. It can be your blog posts, random blog posts from all the categories. It can be your blogs from specific categories. Okay, so what we can do, we can search for a suitable element over here, and I will go with blog. Okay, so read the description over here. It's display a blog element in multiple styles. We also have a blog carousel, that is display a blog carousel element. A carousel is basically multiple blogs are displayed horizontally at the same time and it keeps on scrolling, but we do not want that. We want a carousel or a display of blogs which is in a vertical format. Next available element is display a blog element in leader style, right? So let's go ahead with the blog element, just the blog element for now. Okay, so here as per the design given, now we have small images, we have small the text is very small. So let's go ahead with the blog media size as small media. Media means the size of the image that will be displayed over there. Media area visibility, do you want to show the image or no? Grid image size. Now this is landscape small crop, so let's keep it this way because we have landscape style images, so hence we are selecting this dimension. And do you want to display the featured images? Okay, so if you have a featured image set for your blog, it will be displayed there. Excerpt length, this is the description of the blog. Now we want to keep it as 0 because we want to only show the titles and the image of the blog. We do not need the read more button. We want to show the latest blog on top, that is why order by date and descending. We don't need any CSS animations right now. Let's go to title and styles. Now if you know H1, basically the header tags in HTML gives us an option to display the text in bigger or smaller sizes. Okay, so we want the minimal size for our section, hence we will go for div. Okay, so basically we don't want to attach any header tag to our titles. Post title size typography. Now if you read the text below this, post title size and typography defined in theme options. So this theme has some predefined settings in the theme options. which is here, theme options. Okay, now you can click here in your theme and you can check it, what is it, but I'm going to let it be as is. Let's go to pagination and extras. We want to display post per size, that is per page, that is 3. Okay, and we want to show a load more button. Let the button name be load more. Now as we have space restrictions, we do not want to display any other related data except the title and the image. So we are hiding the author, we will hide the date, hide comments, hide like, hide categories. Okay, filter, we do not need any filter. Exclude post, we don't need to exclude any post for now. If you have a lot of categories already in your blog, you can select the categories from which the post will be displayed over there, but I do not have many posts right now, so I will select all categories and let's click on save. Update. Now we will go on the home page to check how it looks. Alright, so we have our blogs, we have our posts which are available over here, but we do not want it this way, right? We want it to fit the entire all this entire section in a container, okay, whose height is limited, and that is how we will configure it. Now this will need a little bit of custom code, that is custom CSS and custom HTML, so be patient and just follow the steps that I'm doing, and we will achieve what we are looking for from the reference website. Let's go to this section again. Let's edit the blog. Now we have to figure out why is the title showing so big. So the second option in titles and styles, we have post title size typography. As I said, it is predefined settings in the theme options. Over here, to override that option, we need to select small text. Okay, we need very small text because the area is very limited. So let's click on this, click on update, and let's go again and refresh the page. Fantastic, this is what we are looking for. So now we see that the entire area is properly fitting in, but this is not complete. We still want a specific height container, and the load more is also coming outside the box. So we will try to fit it in a container which has a scroll, okay, up and down scroll, so that our layout is properly aligned. Okay, so now we will go ahead and write some custom CSS. Before that, I am doing an inspect element to figure out how much height should be assigned to this container, to this column, so that it gets aligned with the left hand side slider. So I will assign the height as 250 pixel. And I'm going to write overflow y. Okay, so we did achieve what we were looking for, but not completely yet. We need to increase the height of the container so that we match the slider height. Okay, for now we'll adjust it to 330. See guys, I had told you about the image sizes, right? All the images that you use in the slider should be of specific width and height. Different images cannot be of different width and height. So this is the problem. Now we are not able to figure out on the right hand side what the container height should be, whether it should be 330 or more than that or less than that. So if we use the consistent dimensions images, then we would be able to easily figure out what the container height should be. But anyways, we know what we are doing over here, and hence we'll proceed. Okay, now this is just for for trial basis that I'm doing, but we need to write a custom class, CSS class, in theme options. I'll go to theme options. Let's search where the CSS option is. So similarly, whichever theme you are using, you will have a theme options theme option. You will have this section in your theme as well, theme options. Find for the CSS and JS options, and over here in the CSS code we will write our custom code. We will start writing a class, and we will give it the name home latest posts. We have to write scroll overflow y and scroll. All right, so we will edit this option, overflow dash y is equal to scroll. Okay, now this CSS we have written, and this class we will be using in WP Bakery container. I will show you how. Before navigating from here, we have to save the changes first. Now this class is available in the entire theme, okay, basically in WordPress. Now what we need to do, we need to go over here, edit the blog again, tiles and style, okay. In general tab at the bottom we see the extra class name. If now read the description below this. If you wish to style particular content element differently, then use this field to add a class name and then refer to it in your CSS file. Okay, so we are going to write our name. Now when writing a class name over here, we do not need to put dot. Okay, dot is for the CSS file, the CSS code that we write, but when we use the reference, we remove the dot and we just add the name. Let's save it and check how it looks. Okay, it's saved. We will refresh the page. Okay, now we did not achieve the expected result. There is also a scroll bar in the y-axis, in the x-axis. We will fix this. Now the CSS that we need to write, an extra line on line number 4, overflow dash x, that is the y-axis, the bottom scroll, and we have to write the value as hidden. So what this does is, it will just show the scroll on the right hand side, and it will hide the scroll at the bottom. Okay, so still things are missing. You see the image is too big and the text is actually not fitting because of the scroll bar. So let's try to reduce the image size and also make the title visible enough. Let's go to backend editor, edit the blog section. Now grid image size. Now let's try to reduce the image from here and select medium, and let's see if it does anything. Okay, it did not help much. It in fact increased the size. So it's a bit experimental sometimes, but you need to keep going, and you need to not stop and give up that your UI is not achieved like the way you want. Let's switch it back to landscape small crop. Let's open our post page once. Now, in this example, I have shown that Hello World 4, Hello World 3 is just a one line text. What if you have a title which is coming on multiple lines? How will it look? Okay, so just change a title, and I will repeat this title here, copy paste it multiple times, and let's check how it looks. Awesome. So it is automatically getting divided into lines, and it is coming one below another, so that's good. Okay, so more or less we have achieved what we are looking for here. The biggest difference in this section now is, you see the scroll bar over here, it's blue in color and it's very thin. Okay, so now we are going to try to achieve this part. To achieve a similar scroll bar design, let's go ahead and check how can we write a CSS, and what CSS should we write to achieve this scroll bar design. Okay, so if you see from line number 7 in the CSS box till line number 17, this is the CSS code that we need to write in order to achieve the exact same design, but with different color, because our theme is of a different color. Okay, so I will go ahead and save the changes. Let me explain a little bit on what I have written. So this is the box, this is the custom CSS class that we have given. Okay, home latest posts. Now ::dash webkit dash scroll bar, it tells us what should be the width of the scroll bar. Okay, how thick the scroll bar will be. The next is, it's WebKit scroll bar track. So track means the background color of the scroll bar track, which starts from the top till the bottom of the box. The third is WebKit scroll bar thumb. Now the WebKit scroll bar thumb is the actual scroll bar that we see, which is in blue color on the reference website, but we are going to put the RBG color as the yellow color, basically the yellow shade that we are implementing throughout the website. Okay, so we have saved this. Let's go ahead and check how it looks in the front end. Great. So now you see the scroll bar is achieved. Now let's see, the scroll bar is a bit thick with 10 pixel. We will go ahead and reduce it to 5 pixel, and we should see the exact same design that we want. Awesome, right? Simple tricks to create a custom scroll bar anywhere in your HTML, whether it is your WordPress or any other HTML design that you're creating. Okay, so I will tag this specific section of the video, where if you want to only learn and implement the same on your any other website, you can pick it up from here. In the rightmost section, there are two images in the first fold of the website. So I have downloaded these two same images, and I'm going to put these two images on our website at the same place that we have decided. Let's go ahead and do that. Again, a very important note for everyone: please use only optimized images. Okay, don't use very large dimension images or very heavy images for your WordPress website. So for an image, we will type image in the search box. So there are so many options, so many features that WP Bakery gives. Now we need to understand each and every option and only then use it. Icon box. Now this icon box will tell you that if for example, if there is a section where you need to display the features of your product, so you use these icons, and next to the icon or below the icon, you can display a small description or a title for that icon. Image and text. Okay, image text. So combine image or video with text and button. That means an image will be displayed and you can combine it with following with text or with a button, an action button. Now media box has a lot of features like animations. You can add video as it's written, you can add images, you can add videos, you can add a map combined with text. So again, the same thing, you add a lot of animations in there. The data, the text will be displayed below the image, and you can animate the image in various ways. Single image. Now single image is what we are looking for for our functionality. So we will go ahead and click on that. Before that, let's just cover Fancy Box. Now Fancy Box is basically a plugin. You must have seen on so many websites that when you visit any page, suddenly a pop-up appears, right, with a form that you need to fill, for example a subscription or a newsletter. So Fancy Box is a plugin where you click on something, it will show an overlay with the data inside a form or just an image, or it can be any other element. Okay, so let's go ahead, quickly click on single image. After clicking on it, this box opens. Now there are so many types of images that you can add. You just insert an image without any click functionality. You select that you want to image link, basically image and a link, so that when anyone clicks on that image, they will redirect to some other page. Image pop-up. Now image pop-up is something that you click on it, you again see a pop-up of the image, that is an overlay. Image video pop-up, I am not sure exactly what this is because I haven't used it, but we'll explore it soon. Image with caption. Images usually, to describe an image, sometimes people write everything in the image, or they show the image and they write the description below that or on top of it. So that means image with caption. The second last option, image pop-up with caption. Now combine the third option and the third last option. Okay, that means image, when clicked, it will open in a pop-up, and then a caption will be displayed on top of the image or below the image. Gallery pop-up. Now this gallery pop-up means a lot of images can be added in this gallery, and I'm sure that everyone understands what a gallery means, so I won't go into details of it. We are going to simply click on the second option, that is image link, because we want to add a link on it. Basically this space can be utilized as an ad space, or a space where important messages or some kind of promotion needs to be done. Okay, image size we will choose as full custom. That means whatever size of image is available, it will directly display. So let's go ahead and add the image. I have downloaded the image from the reference website. Let's use the same. So this is the image that we want to insert. On the right hand side below the image, you see the KB. Image is only of 46 KB. That is, it is a very optimized image for the website. It's 300 by 114 pixels. So this, these guys have specifically created a very small image for that size on the web page. Instead of creating a very large image and then letting the CSS do the work of optimizing it on runtime, that's not a very good approach. Okay, we have selected this image. Let's scroll a bit down. Image column space auto, that's fine. Alignment is center is fine. Now select a URL. Okay, now as I told you that I want an image with the link, so that someone clicks on it, they will redirect to some other page or some other website or some internal link. Okay, so I have so many options over here. I can put the URL of the image. I will, put it as A Square Web Studio. Link text. Okay, so an image with a link text, or else just an image with a link. So if I want to put some text so that people read it and click on it instead of just clicking on the image, I'll put this. I will make sure that it is opening in a new tab. Okay, you also have an option to select the existing posts and pages in your own website, so that you can, if you want this image to redirect the user to some internal link of your website, you can select one of these options. Set the link. So now this is done. Animation, we are not going to do it now, we'll cover it in the later episodes. I'll save it and I will click on update. Now we'll go to the website and check how it is displayed here. Perfect, right? So now you see, when I hover on the image, I see the attribute, that is a small pop-up coming in black with white text in it, test link. So if you remember, I had put the link text as test link, right? And at the bottom left corner, you will see the URL that I have added on the image. So when I click on it, a new tab is going to open and take me to the external link that I had added. If you put some internal, your own website link, it will redirect to your own website on a different page. So let's close this. Now we have successfully added this, and with this we are done with the first fold of the website. We are yet to put the titles for each section, that we'll do it now. Let's go back to the backend editor. Now guys who are waiting for me to do something on the front end editor, don't worry, the next episode will be with the front end editor, and the next section will be covered of the home page. Okay, so let's quickly go and add a title to this. Title, right? The first element itself says that it's a title element. Let's click on it. Now let's give the same title as our reference website, that is Top Stories. Whoa. Okay. Top Stories. All right. So here we are going to make it as heading 2. This font size is good enough. We'll save it. Now we obviously do not want the title below the slider, we want it above the slider. So you see this arrow again, the cross arrow. Click on it, drag it on top of the slider. As simple as that. Let's see how it looks. Perfect, right? So this is what we were expecting, and this is what we have. So let's add the title for our second section as well. We will keep the third section as is, because that is like an advertisement section that we have created. Okay, let's go ahead and add a title to the second section, that is latest. Again the same procedure. Click here, type title in the search box. We will add the title as latest. We will make it as a heading 2 element and save it. Again, drag this element above the blog element. Update. Let's refresh this page and check how it looks. Perfect, guys. So this is what we were expecting from this episode. The first section is created. I'm sure that we haven't created the entire section as the reference website, but we are successful in creating and understanding how WP Bakery helps us set up the element as we want. Okay, so we are almost there. 80%, 20% we will cover in the next episodes, because I want to show you all more and more functionality of WP Bakery and how we can make this more beautiful, how we can improve the UI by changing colors, by adding animations and a lot more things. Hey guys, this is an exciting series. I believe we are doing a good job now by creating the WordPress website by ourselves. I want everyone to learn WordPress because it's so simple, and by following few steps and few giving some time to yourself and learning will create a big difference in the future. Maybe a few months down the line you want to create a website for yourself, for your family and friends. Even if you're not a developer, that's fine. So please go ahead, learn, gather some knowledge, share knowledge. Okay, sharing knowledge is very important. That's what we do on YouTube, right? Sharing experiences, sharing knowledge. So do share, do tell people to learn more and more things, upgrade themselves, take them to the next level, so that they can survive, because it's a very fast-paced world, and there is a lot of competition. So learning is one of the things that you should adapt in your life. Okay. Now in the first video, in the 5th episode, we have created the first section for Throttle Adda. Now we are going to create the second section of the home page of Throttle Adda. So stay tuned. I am coming up with a lot of more options that WP Bakery provides in building the UI, in basically designing the UI. A lot of animations, a lot of texture, color combinations, font styles that we can apply, different kind of layouts that we can create. So stay tuned, as I said, and we will meet in the next episode, that is the 6th episode of the technology series of WordPress website. Thank you guys, have a nice day, and see you soon. Bye bye.